Dr. Chin Nasiriel. Thank you so much for joining us
Yeah, thank you very
on
much.
the show. You're a seasoned journalist. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about that. So I had this conversation with a mentor of mine, and he was like, journalism has changed, especially with the advent of social media. So my question to you, my first question would be, how really, to what extent has journalism changed because of social media?
Yeah. I recall when I was a kid, I only had to listen to radio. And my family didn't even have one. Maybe a neighbor had. And so when the radio was on, I could listen to it. From there, I began to watch television and then the newspaper. Then suddenly, about a decade or so ago, the social media came in and had changed the face of the media in more ways than one. For example, before news was one way, the radio man talks, you listen, you don't, there's no feedback. Today, within a record time, social media, you can you can tweet now, and somebody can reply in a second, and it has become interactive. So it has changed. There's no longer a professional journalist from a citizen journalist. We now have citizen journalists who, on at any place, anytime, give you real-time information. So there's exchange of idea. It flows. It has changed it in more ways than one.
Okay, so you've actually tried to mention the good aspects, but are there some cons, that come with social media? Has it affected, traditional journalism negatively in some way?
Yes. First of all, in traditional journalism, what you heard from the radio then was accurate. You wanted to check time, you wanted to know the correct government information, you listen to the radio, to the TV, and the newspaper. Today, for me, the social media is a big refuse dump. It's a big refuse dump. You can pick the goods. You can pick bronze, you can pick silver, you can pick gold. But the rest of it, junk.
All right. So, going by what is obtainable now with social media, do you think there should be more regulation by governments, in trying to curtail what goes out and how it goes out on social media? Is it possible? Is it doable?
As a journalist, I'm not in favor of curtailing or midwifing or regulating the social media. Rather, I'll ask for self-censorship. If you are grown up and you're going to put something out in the media, please be careful what you are sending. It's important. But I wouldn't want government to regulate social media.
But this is actually appealing to people's, conscience. This is appealing to people's conscience. And most times it doesn't really work that way. You have to put systems in place to ensure that people align. But maybe not regulate it 100%, but maybe a tiny bit. And I say this because there's some content that are private, and there's some content that could spark even what's it called? That could be dangerous and starts a riot. So in such cases, don't you think a little bit of regulation is necessary?
Well, nothing is absolute. Nothing is absolute. Much as you have a right to swing your arms, you must mind the nose of the person standing next to you. So, having said that, it is important that government must not absolutely regulate social media, but it can have a little kind of control. For example, cyberbullying is everywhere. And so there should be a mechanism when somebody offends, the person should be charged appropriately. So there should be a law that would let you know that, look, as much as you can fling your arm anyhow, you don't have to hit the next man.
Interesting. Okay, so let's talk about cyberbullying. Really, how is a content defined, or how would you see a content and then it's tagged bullying of some sort? Because someone could just be crying wolf. What are those indicators that will say that this content is actually bullying?
Okay, I can draw an example from what just happened somewhere. A child has a defect, natural defect. So, and he was actually in secondary school. And unfortunately, that secondary school, they allow the use of phones. So his colleagues used to taunt him. You are not healthy. You are not that. They kept taunting him. And at the end of it, that child committed suicide. He felt it was too much for him. So that's one aspect of bullying. Then there's the other one where people trail others. Send very dangerous message. Like guys, run after a girl and keep threatening the girl or vice versa. So it comes in different shades and it comes in different forms. And to an extent, it's dangerous to society.
Okay, given the fact that you said that social media is now a dumping ground, everybody has a phone, has a device, has a video, can just cover an event and just post it out there. For journalists and people in the broadcast ecosystem, how would you advise them to maintain a balance? Because it's not just about wielding a phone and then posting or broadcasting. How do you, as a veteran, journalist and broadcaster, how would you advise them to maintain balance and give out quality information?
Yes, for those who are trained as journalists, like I said, there's what you call self-censorship, gatekeeping. You don't write everything you see. There's national security. You must not write things that will endanger national security. Okay? But for those who are not trained, they just believe that sending information amounts to vibrant journalism. No, it's not. And that's why we say that even for those who are practicing citizen journalism, that government should find a way to get them trained so they will know what is right from what is wrong.
So give us one advice that we could use to debunk fake news. How can someone protect himself or herself from fake news, since social media is a dumping ground? How can you verify information very quickly?
Well, I think the organizations that are involved in verifying fake news, like the WABMA and the rest. But for me, everything I see on social media, I just don't believe it. I have to do my own due diligence. So for whatever you see, please don't think it's gospel truth. Don't press the button and start sharing. Check. Call a friend. Find a way to know whether this is true or whether it is false. And gentlemen and ladies, please stop sharing everything you see, because sometimes you'll be sharing false information.
Dr. Cyril Uchenna, thank you so much for your time and gracing our
Thank you.
chair. Better Pekin. Thank you so much for coming on our show this evening.
You're welcome.
I look at you and I remember how you gathered a group of 16 teenagers and
More than, actually.
and more than 16 teenagers. Can you walk us through that event? What inspired that event?
Okay, so I grew up in a broadcast environment, and growing up, I didn't have that thing. I see people like my dad go to a radio station, OAPs talk, and it never occurred to me that one day I'm going to talk on radio. But after school, I read accounting actually. So after school, my dad called me and said, "Would you love to go into the broadcast environment?" I said yes. And then it dawned on me that I actually grew up in such an environment. So why didn't I pick interest? So coming down to Enugu, working at Solid 100.9 FM Enugu, I found out that a lot of kids need to actually start early for you to, if I had started early, I don't think I'll be where I am today. I'll be
You're not
far.
doing
Really? Okay, so that's what actually inspired me to gather these kids together, train them to become media personalities.
Yeah, so it's so inspiring. And you told me something the last time we met, that you're planning a reunion of the very first set.
Yeah.
Why are you planning a reunion? What do you want to get out of it? Because most of them are actually grown in universities. So why the reunion?
To create that consciousness in them again that, okay, you guys are grown up, you're going into the higher institution. That doesn't mean you need to let that dream die. Okay, I found out that they have this eagerness to actually talk on radio. So in order to still follow them up, that's okay, you're no more young children, you're no more in primary or secondary school, you're already in the university. We can actually do something with you. We could
Mm.
start up a teen show
Mm.
on radio where you come, you talk.
Mm.
So that's the idea.
I love how you're building a community around, these young ones. But if I'm